All right, guys, we are going to do a review today. Next week, on Monday for you guys, you will have a critical juncture. Sorry, and that's kind of the halfway point. So we have finished with chapters 1 and 2, and after our critical juncture, we're going to start chapter 3. Okay. So go ahead and take your attendance in Canvas if you have not done so already. And what we're going to do next is we're going to play a Quizzies game. So we're going to do a Quizzies review game. And on the Quizzies, it's going to be a lot of writing, but make sure that you're reading it all the way through and really understanding what the question is asking of you. Okay, don't get lost in all the words. We did it like that just because we want you guys to get used to it, and because Amplify does that. They put a lot of words in it, and sometimes you get lost in those words, and it kind of tricks you up on what it's really asking you. Okay, so if you have not taken your attendance in Canvas, please do so. What we are going to do next is our Quizzies. Okay, so you're going to join a Quizzies to review for the critical juncture next week. And so I'm going to escape from this and go to our Quizzies. All right, I got to open it up. Mr. Living Good sent it to me. All right, so we are going to do it instructor paced. Okay, instead of classic, we're going to do it instructor paced. So we'll go one question at a time together. And so I will give you all a code, and I'll put it in the chat. Let me share the link. All right, looks like Addison's already on there. Shelby's on there. I posted the Quizzies link in the chat if you want to join that way. All right, make sure you're at least using your first name. Make sure you're at least using your first name. So that I can give you points for our Quizzies today. So make sure you're using your first name. Or something to tell me that it's you. All right, looks like I got 11 people on here. Ethan, we are doing a Quizzies right now, so I'm going to share the link again and post it in the chat. All right, I told you guys, make sure you put at least your first name or something that reminds me of you. All right, looks like I got 14 people. I think I need about 2 more. Maybe 3. All right, those people that have not joined, please make sure you join. I will put it in the chat one more time. We don't have very long, so make sure you're joining. All right, I'm going to start it. All right, which billiard ball experienced a force acting on it in the opposite direction? So which ball experienced a force acting on it in the opposite direction? All right. So it looks like most people chose the correct answer, so good job. So it was the 7 ball. All right, so which of the sailboats required the least amount of force to change its velocity? Which of the sailboats required the least amount of force to change its velocity? So either the orange, blue, yellow, or both the orange and blue sailboat. Which of the sailboats required the least amount of force to change its velocity? Make sure you're really looking at that picture and the words and numbers under that picture. Oh, my bad. I didn't look at the correct answer. All right, so which of the 3 sailboats had a higher amount of force applied to it? Which of the 3 sailboats had a higher amount of force applied to it? All right, so the orange, the blue, the yellow, or all 3 have the same amount of force applied to them. All right, there we go. Now let's see. Oh, Sam's getting up there. This one was kind of hard. So you had to pay attention to the picture and what was under it, right? So there was some writing under it. All 3 of them had the same amount of force applied to them. So each of those sailboats had a different mass, but they all had the same amount of force applied to them. Why did the female figure skater speed up? Why did the female figure skater speed up? All right, so she started skating faster and added more mass to her speed. The male figure skater applied a force to the female skater, and this caused her to go faster and caused him to slow down slightly. The female figure skater applied a large force in the opposite direction that she was skating, so this force gave her an extra boost to her velocity, or the male skater applied a force in the opposite direction of the female skater. So which one of those made her speed up? So remember, when we're talking about speeding up, in what direction is the force going to be applied? So the opposite or the same direction that she's going in order to make her speed up. All right, I need 3 people to respond, 2 people to respond, 1 more. There we go. Good job, Sam. All right, good. All right, for those of you that picked these, remember, what direction do we need to go in order to speed something up? Ask yourself that question. All right, so a car was involved in two rear end collisions over the course of several months. How would you describe the car's velocity after each collision? So the car's velocity was higher after each collision. The car probably started traveling in the opposite direction after each collision. The car's velocity caused it to speed past the trucks in both collisions, or the car's velocity was lower after each collision. So if it was a rear end collision, that means they got hit from the back. Okay? So what does that mean? All right, 2 more people. Make sure you're responding. I'm going to end the question. All right, Drew's up there now. All right, so you're saying the car's... This one's kind of tricky. So the car's velocity after each collision. I think Mr. Livingood made this the wrong correct answer. So if this car was involved in 2 rear end collisions, that means they got hit from the back. So over the course of several months, how would you describe the car's velocity after the collision? So Mr. Livingood chose the wrong answer. So the people that chose the car's velocity was higher after each collision. You would be correct, because if the car is moving forward and they got hit from the back to make them go forward more, then that would speed the car up, right? So those 6 people that chose that first one, you are correct. So which ball experienced the strongest force after it was hit, and how do you know? Okay, so which ball experienced the strongest force after it was hit? How do you know? Make sure you're paying attention to the before and the after of that. So which one experienced the strongest force? Also, make sure you're paying attention to the change in velocity. The change in velocity. Not what it's ending at, but the change in velocity. Remember what we said about change in velocity and strength of force. All right. Okay, guys, remember what I just said. I said something about the change in velocity. Okay, so those people that picked the 7 ball, you were correct. So this one was kind of tough. People did pick the 7 ball, but not for the correct reason. Okay, this reason says because it takes a stronger force to slow something down. But the reason that it experienced a stronger force was because it changed speed the most. All right, a few more questions left. So in which collision did the car experience a stronger force? In which collision did the car experience a stronger force? So it's talking about the car. So which one of them did they experience a stronger force? Ethan sent me a message and pointed out something, a really good point. He was actually, Mr. Livingood was talking about the car and not the trucks. And so I guess I didn't realize that he was talking about the car. And if this small little car would have hit both of those trucks, then they would have gone in the opposite. That car would have slowed down. So I get where people were thinking, or you guys were thinking about the 2 trucks instead of the little car. But I guess Mr. Livingood was talking about the little car in that case. So I get why people answered the other way. Okay, so which collision did the car experience a stronger force? We got Sam still in the lead. Drew and Krisha are getting up there. All right, so it is going to be the collision with the dump truck. Why is it the collision with the dump truck? Somebody either unmute themselves or type it in the chat. Why did the car experience a stronger force with the dump truck? Good, Krisha. Krisha said that there is more mass with the dump truck than the pickup truck. All right, did any of the sailboats have a force applied in the opposite direction? Did any of the sailboats have a force applied in the opposite direction? Make sure you're looking at the before and after of each sailboat. I will take the timer off of this so you can have enough time to look at those. So either yes or no, and then you're going to pick the best one that explains your answer. What are you doing? Lay down. He's a good girl. All right, let's look at the leaderboard. Sam's still staying up there. Somebody catch Sam. All right, so yes, the blue sailboat had a force applied in the opposite direction. Thank you. All right, so yes, the blue sailboat had a force applied in the opposite direction. All right, 2 more questions, I think. So all 3 boats have the same mass. The wind gave each of the boats a push, but not all from the same direction. Each boat changed speed as a result of being pushed. And it wants you to use the information in the diagram to answer which boat or boats experienced the strongest force when it was pushed, and how do you know? So which boat experienced the strongest force when it was pushed, and how do you know? All right, which one? Leaderboard, is Sam still in first? Y'all got to catch up. Come on, Drew. Come on, Cretia, Addison. All right, so all 3 boats experience the same strength force. Last question. 3 boats were moving across. All right, Datavion, you did not have enough time to read that, so please don't just choose an answer. 3 boats were moving across the surface of a smooth lake. The orange and blue boats have the same mass, and both of these boats are more massive than the yellow boat. The wind exerted an equal force on each boat, but not from the same direction. Use the information in the diagram to answer. So which boat or boats experienced the strongest force when the wind hit the sails? And how do you know? So the boats were moving across the surface of a smooth lake. The orange and blue boats have the same mass, and both of the boats are more massive than the yellow one. Okay, the wind exerted an equal force on each boat, but not the same direction. All right, the orange and blue boats experience the strongest force. All right, they had the same mass. Remember, they had the same mass. All right, so I'm going to go back to this week 12 recap. So this is what we did this week. Make sure that you have done everything for this week. Okay, so on Monday we did lesson 2.3, and then Wednesday we finished up the lesson, and then we did the ed puzzle. So go ahead, make sure, check this and Amplify, check it on Canvas, make sure that you have done each of these things. If you know you've done them or you've already checked them, then you are good to go and you have a great weekend. If not, please go through these things and check them. Bye, Emily.